Ladies and gentlemen, today is April 8th, 2013, and this is the KNKL Emma Stream Day 38, where we work on our comic, our lovely comic, called Emma, La Chica Pequeña... Oh man, I totally forgot how to say it. Pequeña Chica versus Los Muertos Vivientes. Before we get into making the actual comic, we have to take a stroll down the lovely lane because we have new submissions of some lovely people who are getting their prints, as well as Zero Stars, who submitted a cool YouTube video, which is basically the translation of Emma Part 1 into Spanish. So thank you very much for everyone who has been supporting and translating and making awesome art and submitting it to Facebook. Please continue to do so. That makes me oh so happy. Before we jump into the comic making, I need to thank a very special someone named Joseph Malone. Oh, and we also have another person who donated yesterday. Shoot. So I need to update this list tomorrow. And if you'd like to get your name on this list, simply head on over to the Emma Comic Online site and donate as little or as much as you would like. And I will feature your name on here throughout the month. It'll be very, very fun. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and get this show underway. It's about time, and my hair is going to be in my face. I really need to get a haircut. Although it is becoming quite manageable these days. You know, you get the nice beanie on there, kind of mats it down. It's really, really, really nice. So let's go ahead and move on into this. Today what we're going to be doing is doing the actual layout for page 11 of part 2. Or page 11, which is part 2. And to do that, we're going to need a stylus and a computer that actually works. And a computer with drivers that are actually working. Let's see if we are indeed working. I have a feeling it is. Yes, we are in business. Alright. Cool. That makes me happy. So the first thing we're going to start doing here is we've got our layouts all done. We've got our layouts all set up here, right? Are the ones that I'm allowed to show you here. And we're going to be taking them one by one over these next few days. And we're just going to be doing some work on them, alright? Yay! Have fun! Have fun. But first we're starting right here with this one, with the tense situation of Emma and Nico pinned against the corner, and Emma is about to brush Nico's teeth. So let's go ahead and get into that. And let's start laying out some frames, yeah? Start laying out the framework, which is one of my favorite things to do. Not really, but it has to be done. And I figured out a quick way to do it these days. Save some time. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and take our rectangular marquee tool. Let's go ahead and lay in our frame, okay? Lay in your frames. Good. I trust that everyone had a great weekend. I hope that you guys had a chance to check out that special video I made for you with me and Black Ops. That was a blast. That's one of the reasons why I love living in Utah again, because we have cool things like that, just like right down the street, places where you can go rent and shoot fully automatic guns at things that you do not like, bearing in mind that they are inanimate objects and not people or animals. We don't want to do that. That's not right. We don't want to do that. that does not make us good model citizens. But shooting video games is fine. Violent video games, shooting those is more than fine. Alright, so I'm trying to think of how I want to do these frames here. Usually when there's two frames right next to each other, I usually like to do one of these. Like I'll just make the rectangle actually kind of large, and then I'll split it like this. Yes. Stroke that. No, don't fill it. Stroke it. Punch it. Daikos is asking, Yo Keenan, have you watched The Reward yet? I can't remember if I did. Oh, The Reward. No, I have not seen The Reward. Someone was showing that to me a couple days ago. I think it was Sundancer, but I haven't seen him in a while. I need to check that out because it was beautiful, beautifully animated stuff. And I find myself, as I'm getting older, or like basically that's me saying as the days go by, I'm becoming more interested in 2D animation. I remember growing up and I was just so in love with 2D animation and clay animation. I always thought it was like the coolest thing that anybody could ever do. And so naturally growing up, I always wanted to get into that. I always wanted to get into 2D animation. But slowly but surely, as I grew up, I started to notice that everything was going 3D. And I said to myself, man, I just think the world is just not going to have a place for 2D animation. So, I just kind of gave up on that dream. I was like, well, maybe I could do 3D, but I just didn't have that same passion. Just didn't have the same passion for it. I mean, I love 3D animation, don't get me wrong, but it's just something I love about drawing. I almost like the challenge. I think the challenge is cool. Not that 3D animation isn't challenging, but I just like the challenge and like the freedom that 2D animation gives you. You can literally make anything happen. It's a little bit more of a challenge, like I said, but I think it's just, I don't know, it's just something magical about bringing a character to life, a 2D character to life, with voiceover and animation and action. Alright, so you see what I did there? I actually created another frame behind it, or another frame behind these ones. And actually the better way to do this, in fact I'm gonna lay this out the right way. The better way to do this is, see, I've created the box behind these other frames, and then the proper way to do this is to actually create a mask. You want to create a mask by clicking this little special button right here. That creates a layer mask. And basically what you're going to do is go through here and select all these places that you want the line to disappear from, and you're going to fill it, which is Shift F5, fill it with black. And what that allows you to do is, just in case you change your mind and you like change the layout of the panels, you don't have to go in and redraw it again, because basically the way it's working is wherever you're painting black, that's where it's basically like erasing it, but it's not forever, because you can disable the layer mask and it'll bring it right back. So it's really, really nice. It allows you to work and work and work and change frames, and I don't have to worry about redrawing panels. Because I'm the kind of guy that likes to lay in the panels once and then never touch them again. Alright, so I'm liking this. This is looking good. Looking very, very good. And I like to stroke the panels with 10 pixel wide frames. Alright? 10 pixels wide. No more, no less. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and call these good. Where are the other frames? Okay, there we go. There's the frames. Let's go ahead and group those up at top. Name those frames. And we'll call this layout, which is basically what I do after chicken scratches, which I name sketch. Alright. Cool. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be drawing Nico. How about that? Nico being threatened with a toothbrush. Got to love that. Yes, yes, that was a lot of fun. I had never actually shot an AK-47 before. I went there a week earlier just to kind of practice, because I wanted to kind of know what I was doing when I actually shot the video. And it actually worked out really well. Like, I had a lot of fun. The guy that helped me out there, his name was Brandon. Really, really nice guy. So, yeah, he basically ran me through all of the, the gun procedures and all that stuff. And he was really, really helpful with, like, showing me like the stance to get into, like the proper, form, and how to like quick draw essentially, make it. I was like, basically show me how to look cool, so that when I'm videotaping myself, I don't look like a noob, like asking for help, and the guy comes over and like fixes it all up for me and then hands it to me. I want to look like a man, right? Look like a man. Shoot my own games. Shoot my own games. And then the thought occurred to me later. I was like, man, I probably could have taken that to GameStop and gotten like, like 20 bucks for it. But I was like, that was worth way more than 20 bucks. Just shooting that thing, blowing that thing to smithereens. That felt really, really good. I really enjoyed that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go to this view for right now, because I want to be able to like move stuff around. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't think it's that important that you guys see the history or the tools that I'm using. You can basically figure out what's going on there. Alright, so very simply, I'm just going to start kind of laying out Nico's head. Just kind of a general thing here so I can make sure that the measurements are on point. And for the most part, it looks like they are. He's got the big chin going on. He's got the bigger chin here. I like that. And, you know, I'm almost kind of, like, there's parts of the sketch that I really like, and I basically almost just keep the sketch. I almost keep the sketch and barely change it at all. There's things with the face that'll probably go in and change a little bit. Like the nose, I think, is just a tad bit too high. But I like the position of the eyes. I feel like the eyes are actually in good position here. And I like the roundness of them. Oh, whoops. I don't want to give him a little eyelash. He doesn't have that. He has these. He has this thing. That's Nico's eye. Yeah, this is actually a little bit challenging, too, because I always draw Nico with, like, those serious, kind of, like, angry eyes. I was like, okay, well, how does he look when he opens his eyes? How does he look when he's, like, scared or something? So, and I think I've got that figured out right here. Yeah. And he's going to be blushing because he's like, cute girl. Cute girl. What do I do? Alright. And let's go ahead. I like this position of the mouth, too. Good. Well, let's go ahead and bring this up. Make sure that this eye is in the right spot. It needs to be out a little bit more. That comes out like that. Yeah, I'd say that's looking good. It's good. Really good. Okay, and then this other eye is going to be very, very similar. We're going to change that up a little bit. It's probably also going to be covered with hair, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Good. Let's go ahead and erase a little bit more of that there. And we'll have his... It's funny because Nico's bandana, like it's basically like the shape of it is determined by how high his eyebrow is raised. Because I was like, how does that work? What happens if, you know, like if this frame were gone? You know, if I was drawing his eyebrow, you know, does his eyebrow go over his bandana? I was like, no, that can't happen. So basically, if his eyebrow is way up here, then his bandana is going to come way up like that and then down. So his bandana is affected very, very much by his eyebrow. I don't know if that was the smartest design choice for me to make, but that's just the way it is. That is the way it is. And I kind of like it. Might be kind of a funny running gag or just an interesting rule that you guys are going to notice as the comic progresses forward. Nico's. The Nico eyebrow bandana rule. I like it. Alright, so we're going to do that. Fix his ear. And you notice I'm kind of drawing in things outside the frame that don't even need to be there. Because what I also might end up doing is maybe shrinking this down a tiny bit. Because maybe I do want to show a little bit more of his face. Or I might just leave it. I don't know. It's fine. But it's good to at least know where things are. Just in case you want to make some slight changes. Like I'm not going to draw his whole body, but you know what I mean. Okay. One thing I am thinking about moving or shrinking down the panel for, though, is so we can see his eyebrow. Because I think the eyebrow is going to be a very big thing that we need to see to help us see or help us understand what's going on with him. Alright. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more of his hair in his face because, you know, he kind of got hit against the wall. And, you know, your hair would be a little ruffled up after you got pushed into the freaking wall. Oh, also another funny thing, when his eyes are open, I kind of like to, like when his eyes are open, I like to show both of his eyes. But when he's more like cool, like his hair will be over his eye, like emo style. Emo style. Emo style. All right, that looks good. In fact, I might curve his hair back like that. How does that look? It's okay. I need to move his mouth up a little bit though, because it looks a little bit too much like Emma. The basic difference between Nico and Emma is Nico has sharper cheeks and a bigger chin. It's the only difference. Other than that, they are the same character. How am I feeling about that? I think like his bandana's a little bit too far down now. It's not giving him enough hair. He needs more hair. There we go. That's what I needed. That shape. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Good. Good. Now another thing, actually, you know what? I am gonna keep his mouth kind of down like this, because it looks a little more like he's like, you know. Works a little bit better. Yes, I do in fact like that. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Let's draw Emma holding the toothbrush menacingly in front of him, threateningly. How are we doing on the stream? It's another reason why I like living in Utah, is because the stream is oh so much better. My Fat Pops has a good internet connection here, so when I move out, I'll be sure to get a good connection for myself. All right, so let's go ahead and draw in this hand going on there. I don't know if I like that hand. Let's try another one. I like this hand better. It's more simple. Okay, so there's the thumb. And we've got toothbrush here. And just for breaking the shapes, just for the sake of breaking the shape, I'm going to make sure to have that like that. Make sure to have some of that toothbrush kind of overlapping into his face. That way we can see that clearly the toothbrush is in front of Nico. We can avoid some tangents, except this is a big tangent happening right here. I don't like that very much. But I'll deal with that a little bit later. First I want to focus on just getting the toothbrush into the hand. In fact, I might just get rid of that hair back there too. Maybe I'll bring it out a little bit more like this. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Really good. Very good. Very good. Now we're going to need to make that hand a little bit bigger too. That's Emma's hand. Emma-san. If that is Emma-san's hand. Little Guru Emma-san. I think I like the Spanish version a little bit more. Chica Pequeña versus Los Muertos Vivientes. Los Muertos Vivientes. I feel like I'm watching Telemundo when I talk like that. Los Muertos Vivientes. Now I know how to say that. I don't know if I like that hand. Might have to make that on a separate layer. I'm going to go ahead and take this. We'll save that. We'll duplicate that on its own layer. Let's take note of what we got here. So what is happening that's wrong? What do I not like about that? I feel like it's too in profile. That's the problem. It needs to be more aimed at him, and that hand needs to look like it's really close to us. So let's try it again. Let's try doing a little bit more rough this time. A little bit more rough. So we got to think about the toothbrush going this way, right? In perspective. And also the hand, you also want to think of it as a box, right? So if this was, or a cylinder, right? Going into perspective. So you're going to have the hand more like that, right? In fact, if she's holding that brush like that, then what we're going to be seeing is, I think the comic ends with her, let me pull that up really quick. It ends with her holding it like this, okay? So that's going to be our reference like that, right? Where her thumb is on the top of the toothbrush, and then the rest of the hand is kind of curled down. So I'm going to try my best to recreate that. Because we must be consistent, remember? The importance of consistency. Must be consistent. Otherwise, what would happen? The world would fall apart if there was no consistency. Can't have that. Can't have that. Alright, so we got thumb. Going straight on back. Like that. And then we got hand. Coming down like that. In perspective, right? So we want to think about the edge of the hand. And then the fingers that will wrap around, right? Like that. I think I just did it. I think I just did it. Oh, it's close. It's close. It's close. It's close. There we go. Okay. That's good for now. That's good. That's good for now. I like that. Much better than the other one. And let's go ahead and draw the rest of that in. Toothbrush in your face. In your face. Much better. Much better. In fact, I want this hand to be still bigger. So it's going to be more like that. Because you want to think about, like, a general rule of thumb is, like, I like to think about if that hand was extended, it would go from the chin to the middle of the forehead, right? So you want to think about if she extended her hand, it would probably be about that wide. And that goes right up to the middle of his eyes, or his forehead. So that's good. That's very, very good. And bear in mind, it's okay if it's just a little bit smaller too, since it's little Emma's hand. Little girl Emma's hand. It can be a little cuter. A little more petite. Alright, so I'm happy with that. That's good. And we'll still have our chat bubble right around there. Good to know. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to actually duplicate this really quickly, because this is our sketch. I like to preserve the original sketches for like the concept art and all that stuff. And oftentimes what I'll end up doing is when I'm done with the sketch kind of like behind it, I'll kind of erase it lightly. That way I can resize things if I choose to, like this. I do want to show a little bit more of his eye, or his eyebrow in this. So I'm probably going to end up doing the shot a little bit more like that. And that also, by proxy, will give us more of Emma-san's hand. Emma-san's hand. Yeah, I still got some things I got to work out with this hand, but whatever. I don't want to bore you guys. Hands I'm really, really picky with, so I don't want to bore you guys with like drawing that thing over and over and over again. Depending on how important it is. Like I usually try to simplify things as much as possible, but even in the simplified form, I like to think about stuff. I really like it to look nice. It still needs to look like the gesture still needs to be there. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Alright. Let's go ahead and draw in the rest of Nico's hair as well. Got a little bit of hair there. Cool. Oh, this is funny. That actually looks like his other eyebrow. But it's just the skull. He's just skull. I also want to make sure that this is rounded. I don't like the way it looked when it was like just a straight line. Okay, that's good. And that little line right there. And that bandana might be coming off just a tad bit. This is really where I work everything out. So this can actually be the tedious point. There's a lot of like line sculpting in this stage. There's a lot of rearranging things. You know, there's all kinds of things going on. All kinds of things. Okay, but I like that. I like that. I'm happy with it. We're going with it. I just need to make sure that his ears are looking right as well. His ears, yes. Yes! Alright, moving on, people. Alright, so we now get to draw Nico's vision of Emma. What Nico sees right before he falls in love with Emma. View from Nico. Alright, and he's basically going to be seeing Emma as she's ticked off Emma. So we're almost going to be copying this face right here. Very, very similar to that. Except there's going to be like, you know, in anime when the guy sees the girl that he really likes, it's all like blurry kind of, and there's like those spots of color behind it, like the little lens flares or whatever. That's basically what those circles represent. And to the best of my ability, I'm going to be recreating that in this panel. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Shall we? Okay. Okay. And we're going to make a new layer. That way, in case we muff it up, we can always come back. Alright. You know, the good thing about making all the posters, like drawing all the Emma faces on the posters, is it's taught me how to draw Emma's face very, very quickly. It's been really, really awesome. Really, really enjoyed that. And I actually really like, there's something about this face right here that I actually really like, and I kind of want to preserve it because it's kind of cute. And it's very, very close to Emma's actual face. Anyways. We got this thing going on. Let's go ahead and divide this so we know generally where her eyes are going to be. So her eyes are falling right, yeah, right about there. That's good. Good. And let's make sure that they're spaced properly. we got like that. So I draw these lines up from her mouth, so that way I can space her eyes properly. Good, good, good. I got the eyelashes going on there. And we got these things going on right there. Right there. Good. Let's go ahead and erase those lines really quickly. I'm actually going to bring her eyes down even more, even further. So let's see. Let's see how this turns out. I'm hoping this looks good. And she is going to be gritting her teeth. Let's see, how exactly do we want to do that? Do you want it to look more like that? Yeah, I'm liking that. Let's make sure we're not getting too wide on the cheeks there. Yeah, like that. It's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and push the eyebrows down just a tiny bit more. Yeah, let's go ahead and have our eyebrows actually up quite a ways. That looks good. Let's go ahead and give her some cute girl blush. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. And what else do we need here? What else do we need? It's looking good. It's looking very good. I feel like her cheeks might be a little high though. Or low, rather. Like if her face is tilted down, her cheeks need to be up a little bit more. Yeah, they need to be more up here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's looking more like Emma. Good. Looking more like Emma-san. Isn't that interesting? Just like those little changes. Little sculpting, little changes make all the difference. I'm going to go ahead and put these ears in as well. And let's see, what else could I do to make her look cute? I was almost thinking of one more thing that I'd like to do to kind of help show, what mode Emma is in. If she's in like a cute girl mode or if she's like more like ticked off. I was thinking about putting like a strand of hair that would come down in her face, but I don't know if I really like that. Like it's basically this piece of hair over here, but it has like one strand coming off of it. And I don't know exactly if I like that or not. But maybe I'll just try it. When in doubt, try it. Let's see what happens. Because I thought it would be kind of cute, a little bit cuter if like she has hair in her face, Alright. let's go ahead and draw on the rest of this hair here. And we'll erase those guides since we don't need those. Yeah, I'm not worried too much about that right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue drawing this pose from here. Because I'm drawing this angle, or this pose from a different angle. From Nico's perspective. Nico's perspective. And where is the chat? Okay, just making sure I'm not missing anything. Alright. Okay. Now, I want her arm to be basically coming forward quite a ways here. So I've got a little dress here. And so she's got her shoulder here. And then arm coming out like that. I'll work a little bit more with this to make it look right. Looks pretty good. Like what I might do is actually kick up the shoulder a little bit more. To help show where that arm is coming in front there. That looks good. Yes, I like it. Let's show a little bit more of her neck. Right there. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and flip it around. Yeah. Liking that. Liking that a lot. And then another funny thing I was thinking was like having her hair like wistfully, like just like blowing in the wind or whatever. That'd be funny. Even though her hair really isn't even that long, it's just like Nico exaggerates it to make her look cuter. I don't know. More beautiful, graceful, gracefully threatening him with a toothbrush. Gotta love that. But yeah, actually, this is looking really good. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. A lot, a lot. Yeah, she looks really cute right there. Alright, next up, let's draw the toothbrush. Let's draw this amazing toothbrush. And this amazing hand. Alright, so how am I going to draw this? Let's see. How did I draw it here? Oh, okay, that works. That works. Oh, I like this. I like what I did here. I used her hair to like hide the rest of her arms, so I don't have to draw that thing in perspective. Ha ha! Ah, I'm such a cheater. I am such a conniving little cheater. How evil. How evil and awesome of me. Alright, continuing. Let's go ahead and draw this toothbrush coming forward in space. Okay. and the toothbrush is going to look like that. Look like that. It is slightly rounded on the tip there. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and draw that right back. Bring it on back. Not completely satisfied with that hand, but it works. It works for now. I can always mess around with it a little bit more later. In fact, if this were to go back in space, would the arm look a little bit more like that? No, I don't like that shape. I like how it just like goes right back like that. I like the simplicity of that. Not gonna argue. Not gonna argue with it. I'm just gonna go with it. Alright, so we got the hair covering up all those hard to draw parts. Happy accident. Didn't mean for it to be that way, but it just so happened that it did work out like that. Okay, so I'm gonna draw, actually I am gonna give her some extra hair. Or I'm gonna draw her hair, but not quite that big. It's gonna be more like that. That's definitely feasible. That is definitely a little bit more feasible, a little bit more acceptable, I would say. And let's erase a little bit more of those guides so we can get a good, a better look at what the final is going to look like. I'd say that's pretty good. I like that. I like this arm coming forward here. Got a little bit of that thing. That way we can tell that that is the separation between the forearm and the bicep. Got this going on here. Got some good flow going on with the dress. Yeah, overall that's looking very, very nice. And I'll go ahead and just draw this down like that. Show the little cut in the side of her dress, or the little sleeve hole. The little sleeve hole. Cool, I like that. I really like this panel. This panel came together very well. Alright, so I'll probably end up making some slight changes to that, but for the most part, that works really well. I'm really, really happy with this panel. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of very, very lightly erase the sketch in the back, like I said. I usually leave it for the background, but like just for the character, I usually go back in and erase stuff and just make sure I get rid of all these guidelines that I don't want to show up in the face. Yeah. And I'll make her pupils just a tiny bit wider. A teensy bit. Maybe? No? Yes? Yeah, I actually do like them a little bit wider. Makes her look a little cuter. And it's all about cuteness, right? It's all about cuteness. Gotta be cute. Alright, and ear's good. Alright, next! Yes, I want to save it. Alright, looks like we got about 5 minutes left, and then I'm going to go ahead and take question catapults. So line your questions up and make them good. Write them down, and I'll take your questions in 5 minutes. Alright, guys? Little stretch, little dance break. A little stretch, little dance break. Alright? Ah, this makes me feel so good. Gives me so much satisfaction to be working on my own comic. I love it. Love it. Feels really good. Alright, so let's quickly see if we can sketch in Nico's expression here, where he's like, Hey there. How you doing? Because that is something that Nico would say. That is exactly what Nico would say. How you doing? How you doing? All right. But yes, today's been a really good day. I'm actually really happy with how today went. Today's just been an awesome day. Got a lot of stuff done. Slept well. Had a good nap. Took a good little nappykins before the show. Yeah, just been overall a very relaxing day. It's been one of those overcast, kind of windy, rainy days. And usually, I don't know, I felt like I had my fill this year on those, but today was just another one of those. I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's like time is just standing still for one day, and you can finally just kind of like get stuff in order. I don't know what it is. I'm probably affected more by the weather than other people who are actually sane, but yeah, that's what it feels like to me. It was like one of those days where I can excuse myself from like, I don't know, like worrying about everything. And I tend to just get more stuff done when I'm not worried. So I think that's a good point that I need to kind of keep in mind, that worrying doesn't really ever solve anything. And then oftentimes you do your best work when you're not worrying. I need to remember that. All right, so let's see here. Nico. I'm looking at his concept art there, making sure that we're getting his stuff right. All right, midpoint there. That's where his bandana is going to go. Nico's face on the last panel. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be good. This is gonna be a good transition of like, how you do it. And then, boom, just like, right in his mouth. Toothbrush right in his mouth. And I'm glad you can actually see that too. For those of you, I don't know how dark your monitor is, but I'll make it lighter for a second. That way you guys can actually see what's happening there. That's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one to draw. We'll get on that one tomorrow. How to draw someone getting a toothbrush jammed in their mouth. 101. And another reason why I like to lighten the sketch or duplicate the sketch, because oftentimes what I'll end up doing is I'll lighten it very, very heavily so that way I can go in and get this expression that I'm looking for. So I'm thinking that I want like one eyebrow down like this, right? And then the other one is up. So he's kind of like doing one of these things, right? He's doing that suave thing. How you doing? All right, so we got this. That means his eyes are going to be right here. His eyes are going to be open like that. Let's draw this up. That way we got the right amount of openness going on there. And he'll be kind of like doing one of these. Let's see if I can do this. It's probably going to look a little demented at one point or another. But don't we all? Don't we all? In fact, that eye is like way out of whack. That eye needs to be a little bit further over here. In fact, I might end up just like looking at myself in the mirror and seeing how I make that face. Something tells me it might not come out exactly the way I want it. Looks good here. See, that's the thing, is it looks okay here. But I need it to look good here. There we go. That's what we need. A good old signature Nico sideways smile. Something like that. It's not bad. Could be a little better. But I'll worry about that. I'll worry about that later. Right now, we're just getting the layout down. Just trying to make it look plausible. Make it look plausible first, and then you can make it look alright. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to erase that sketch behind because now it is distracting me, and that is not helping. But I will refer back to it once I'm done, and I'll compare the two. Make sure that we're getting what we want. Okay, so we got hair there, hair there. Go ahead and drop this down like that. I do like this. I do like it. But I want him to look like even cheesier. I want him to look even cheesier. So I'll see what I can do about that. In the meantime, peoples, please cast your questions as I continue drawing Suave Nico. In fact, I'm going to look at myself really quickly in the mirror so I can see how I make this face. Okay, that's what I need to do. Okay, so it's more like this. This eyebrow here. This eyebrow right here is more like this, and then this is more like that. And then this mouth should be even more to the side. That's good. Good. Alright, now I just have to deal with his massive cheeks. His cheeks are supposed to be big, but not that big. Cool. Yeah, I really do love expressions. Expressions are some of my favorite things to draw, especially on anime characters. Love them! Love them! Probably gonna move this guy down like that. And we're gonna have his bandana come up like that. And his hair down like that. And his jacket. Jacket thingies. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And what would the suave look be complete, or the starstruck look be without the blush? Gotta have some blush. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'll have his shoulder up like that. That's good. All right. Yeah, you think this face is funny? You should see the next page. We'll be getting into that tomorrow after the toothbrush is in his mouth and he continues to talk. All right, it's time for Q&A, people, for the last 5 minutes. Then we're going to end episode 38 of the KNKL show. So, first question coming in from False Strider is asking, I know you probably answered this, but why did you shoot Black Ops 2? I don't know if I really answered it per se, but I can tell you guys why I did it. The reason why I decided to go ahead and take out Black Ops 2, shoot it, was because I just realized that I just wasn't having as much fun with it anymore. I mean, I loved playing it with David. David is my buddy who helps me write the story for Emma. But I noticed that, I mean, I tend to have a pretty addictive personality when it comes to video games and basically anything, right? So I love, and I think the reason why I get addicted to things is because I always want to just like, I want to be the best, right? I want to be the best at whatever I do. And video games is really easy to just pick up and be like, oh, blah, 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 you know, just go and go and go. But what would happen is I would continue playing Black Ops, and then I'd like stay up and I'd just be like thinking about things all throughout the day. I'd be like, oh, I wonder, you know, what else I could try. And really, I think this is a good mindset to be in. It's fun to be creative. It's fun to think about all these ways, all these different ways that you can do things, right? In this case, I was just thinking about how I could gain a certain advantage in a first-person shooter game, right? But it eventually got to the point where I just kind of, I wasn't getting the same level of satisfaction playing the game as I was creating my comic. And I just got really, really fed up with it. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to play this game anymore. I really don't ever want to play it again. I just want to, I want to make my comic. I want to work on stuff. I want to build the business. I want to do those things that I know are going to affect my future later, right? Because sitting around playing Black Ops all day isn't going to do anything for me, you know? And even if I decided to become like a professional gamer, I think that would be kind of cool, right? But, you know, it's like, at the end of my life, it's like, what does that really mean? What does that really mean? Am I really going to be proud of myself saying that I was a professional gamer, right? And to do that, I mean, if I really took the time to do that, I probably would be. But it's just, that's not exactly where my passion was. So I saw it as a huge waste of time, and I actually got really angry. I took it out of the Xbox right there, and I took like a razor blade and I scratched the back of it like immediately, so that way I wouldn't play it anymore. And I put it on my wall, right? Because I wanted to save it, right? It's like, I'm going to save you for something really special. Because, you know, for those of you who saw what I did with my monitor once it stopped working, I wanted to do something really fun with the CD. So naturally, I knew that I was going to be moving up to Utah soon, and I knew that my dad had some nice guns. And yeah, I was planning on originally like shooting it out of the air with like a shotgun. But then I remembered that we actually have a really cool place, really like close by to our town, that rents out fully automatic assault rifles, right? One of them including the AK-47 that I was shooting. I decided to go ahead and take that over there and blast it away and have some fun with it. And it was a lot of fun, although that gun is not, shooting an AK-47 in real life is not like shooting it in the game. It is absolutely uncontrollable. Not to mention I'm just like tiny little scrawny artist guy, so of course I get this rifle, of course it's going to like jerk me every which way and have no control over it. So, as I nicely pass my hair over, my emo hair, my hair is becoming very emo. I don't know what to do about it. Okay. I'm going to take these last few questions, and then we're going to end it up. End it up! Alright. Victor is asking, are you considering publishing Emma on platforms like Comixology, which do not limit you for other mediums? I do want to actually publish this to Comixology. I would actually love to be able to do that. Love for people to be able to pull it up on their iPads and be able to do the double tap thing, and then you scroll through the panels. I think Comixology has like one of the coolest ways to read comics. And I do plan on doing that in the future. However, right now, I really want to just kind of get a good baseline of the comic setup. I'm thinking probably about 3 or 4 issues, like in the can, basically, finished, completed. Then after that, then I can start exploring my options. Because if I were to like start pitching this idea, or maybe trying to sell the rights to it somewhere, if someone got interested in wanting to make like a show or something off of it in the future, which would be really cool, it'd be nice to have a good amount of substance. Be like, hey, this is how the pacing of the story works. This is what the characters are all about. This is the visual style. You know, that would be really cool to have at least 3 to 4 issues of that done. But as far as publishing to things like Comixology, yes, I do see that in the short-term future. Like that's a very short-term goal that I'm moving towards at a rapid pace. All right, peoples. So we're gonna go ahead and end day 38 of the KNKL stream. Thank you once again for joining me live on Ustream. For those of you watching on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name is Kienan Lafferty. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our regularly scheduled KNKL show, where we'll be doing a tutorial on something. I'm not quite sure yet, but it is going to be awesome. So I'll see you guys then. Till then, you guys take care. See ya.